Duba. Hello,
What the
I'm
hell
Shelly
is?
Duba.
Whoa, what the
Hello,
hell is
What are
that?
you
I'm
doing,
Shelly.
bro?
Oh,
Weirdo stuff.
What
oh,
the
they about to
hell, bro?
indict us,
Are
bro.
you ready?
What
You ready?
the
Let's
hell
go.
is that?
Let's
Oh,
go. We
7
on.
o'clock on the
On the
dot.
dot.
The intro going. Here we go.
Brokers Connect. Brokers Connection.
Camera fun.
Yeah, let's go.
We got 2 cameras tonight instead of 3. And welcome to our 22nd installment of a Brokers Connection sponsored event, Tequila Thursdays. This episode is about mindset matters. Again, my name is Darren Mills. I am your host. To my right, I have
Jose Martinez. I handle business development for Lemon Capital Fund, Rock Capital. To my right,
You've got Sean McClellan, your favorite broker's favorite broker, Fun Rock Capital, newest member of the mortgage department. Pleasure to be here, folks.
nice.
let's go. And to my left, I have
Joe Garand, mortgage veteran, senior loan officer by the grace of God,
That's why he's wearing the blazer today.
all right, ladies and gentlemen. So, the theme of tonight is how mindset is a strategy. Weak mindset usually translates to a weak pipeline. Mental toughness meets commercial sales grit, and with a side of tequila and truth bombs. Jose, you want to start? You want to start pouring it up?
Yeah,
while
100%.
I get the opening line going.
What up?
All right, so really quick. So, ladies and gentlemen, if the inbox is dead, your deals are dragging, let's be honest. You're one more client ghosting you away from applying to Home Depot, pretty much. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but, here's the truth. This isn't, really about how many apps you've submitted. This episode is for brokers who's silently screaming, what the hell am I doing wrong? And to piggyback just off of that, pretty much. 1942. What are we celebrating? That we have 1942 today instead of the our usual experimentation stuff. What are we celebrating, Jose?
Just mindset. That's it. You said it. Just mindset. If you're not there yet, just act as if it's. You have to be able to control your destiny, but also to manifestation. Manifest. Exactly where you want to be, and then eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to figure out how to get there. It just works. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to that. Here you go. This is
Yeah,
yours.
you guys want to cheers,
I
bro?
think,
Yeah, usually we don't cheers until minute 10, minute 15. So good cheers today.
All right, Joey.
So
Cheers,
it's a
bro,
nice
cheers.
day. The Knicks are playing. That's a good reason.
All right, so Jose, you want to lead segment 1, bro?
Yeah, no. So today is about mindset, right? And one of the biggest things is that the competition is never, other competitors, or in our case, sometimes independent sales organizations or other affiliates or other referral partners, right? At the end of the day, it's the voice in your head that's whispering, "You're not good enough," right? Which is yourself psychs you out. You're the one that limits yourself as far as to what you can and cannot do. But a lot of the times it's self-doubt, right? That doesn't allow you to move on to the next level, right? So with that being said, is it's sharing experiences. I mean, Sean, based on your experience, based on how long you've been obviously in the mortgage space, in the business lending space, what are one of the things that you regret not taking a chance on?
I regret, putting myself in the mindset that I'm in today. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I mentioned before, I came from a, very customer service background, being in retail banking, where it's more you're kind of, kissing up to the client, making sure that, they're pleased, you did everything you could for them. And unfortunately, for my first year or two into doing, direct lending sales, I was a little soft on the phone. I would be like, well, look, I don't want to, bother this guy. I already texted him the other day. Yeah.
So you're more like customer servicey.
Yeah, right. And the
Okay.
way I spoke to them too, I always made sure that I didn't sound like I was being too harsh. But I'm at the point, like, I don't care if this is your very first whatever business loan, real estate deal, and you work a 9 to 5 making 50 grand a year, or if I'm talking to a billionaire that's done thousands of projects. We're all human beings. We're all on the same level, and that's the way I come into it. You know what I'm saying? I've eliminated that fear. I'm not afraid of man. There's nothing, like Stanley mentioned last time. What is the worst that happens?
Yeah.
They hang up on you.
Yeah.
Hang up on you, and you're missing out on a lot of opportunities if you have that mindset of being intimidated, holding the client at a higher level than yourself. So you really have to come in there like you are. Like Daryl said, I'm the best at what I do, and that's how I come in every day.
You know, one of the things that we were speaking about last week, right, is, and I'm gonna try. Remember last week I was saying right a lot. After every time I said something, I said right. I'm gonna try to cut down on that.
We went back to the podcast because obviously we had to evaluate these guys when.
When Dad's not around.
Yeah, because when Jose wasn't here last week, we were cursing a substantial amount. Usually he kicks me under the table. He kicks one of us. He has long legs, apparently. Kicks everybody, right? He's like this. But
playing footsies with
yeah, right. But we see, yeah, right. See, I'm gonna limit myself saying right this episode. But no, just to piggyback off what you said, Sean, it's easy to have bad days doing what we do, right? And not to make this week sound a lot like last week, because I know last week we kind of ended, with mindset. It was just something that we were just fixated on. But mindset really is everything for this industry, because again, you might have a great week, just like you did last week, or you might have a complete opposite week. But no matter what, you just have to come into the office and put your best foot forward. Still treat every phone call just like it's, treat every phone call like it's new, like it's a brand new situation. Because again, you might have a deal die on you, right? And then
get a little discouraged.
You might have a deal die on you, and then your very next phone call could be the $100 million deal, and you have to completely just wipe your mind clean of exactly what just happened, whatever's going on at home, whatever's going on outside this office. You have to wipe it clean, because that client deserves your undivided attention, so that you can maximize it and be able to cross sell. What?
I'm sorry, finish.
I'll always finish. No problem, bro. So, typically, what ends up happening is, because our company, we're so built on cross selling, right? We're so built on cross selling because we have so many different products. We have about 15 different programs. So what happens is, if you're discouraged, you typically tend to not go the extra step. If you are speaking to a real estate client, or you're speaking to somebody that is doing a fix and flip that needs a quick bridge loan, and you're negged out from the call that you just had before, or your deal died, you might tend to just be like, yeah, you don't qualify, and just get off the phone. When you're in your best mindset, mind frame, when you're clear thoughts and nothing else is going on in your mind, at that moment, you tend to go ahead and go the extra mile and ask the extra question. Hey, what's your credit score? Hey, do you own a business? So to really be successful at what we do, to be able to cross them, to be able to pivot, you have to really have a clear mind, and you have to really, 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 really be in the best mind state possible to go ahead and ask that extra question. So what are you going to ask?
I was just
Joe?
going to say, because I was going to ask Joe, because Joe is known for this, right? And sometimes, like Daryl mentions, you have to decompress. You have to be able to take a step back if you're having a bad day, because we all have bad days, right? A deal's not closing. No one's answering. People are cursing you out for whatever reason. The leads that you purchased were bad. So at times, things do tend to go bad, right? And what you end up feeling like is this the right? You start doubting yourself. Is this the right thing for me? Should I be doing sales? Is there, am I better off just listening to everybody else and doing a 9 to 5? So, Joe, what do you do to decompress, to clear your mind while you're in the office, which we all make fun of you about?
Yeah,
Joe walk.
They always look out the window like Joe's on another walk, another Joe walk. But I go for a walk. I clear my mind. Quick call with a friend. And then it's like you gotta have almost short-term memory loss when it comes to these calls. So you might get cursed out, or a client may turn down a great deal for no reason, and you're wondering like, am I the problem? But it's a numbers game. You got to keep it rolling. You just gotta keep growing the pipeline. A lot of these clients will come back to you too.
Typically, your biggest competitor isn't another ISO. It's the voice in your head, whispering, just like Jose said before. You're not good enough, and sometimes it gets to the point where you're gonna have the perfect deal for somebody, but it might not be the right time for them, right? And you could pitch, and you could feel like you're on top of your A game, and you could feel like it's the best deal. There's no way that this person will say no, and then they say no. That literally happened to me. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. I'm not really sure if some of you real estate guys, or ladies and gentlemen in here are not really gonna understand what I'm saying, but just try to keep up for a second. And if you're in the MCA space, if you're an MCA broker, you know what I'm talking about. If you're in the business funding space, I had someone approved for a line of credit, unsecured, at a 116. Now a 116 means that you borrow 100,000, you pay back 116,000
Almost unheard of.
with just bank statements, right? And that's see, I said right, and that's just bank statements. Now, typically those rates are, anywhere from like a 130, which is 30 cents on a dollar, all the way up to like a 155. I had them approved for a 116.
That's bank rates.
Yeah. But I was competing against a renewal from another company, and the guy said, Daryl, I have a 112.
Oh, I remember this deal.
I'm pulling I'm up whatever hair that I have, right? I got a haircut. You guys can't see, right? Got a little haircut.
More streamlined.
Yeah, I cut the fro, right?
Aerodynamics over here.
Cut the fro, right? It's getting hot out here on Long Island. No, but I got the sickest deal. Now, once the approval comes in, you think it's a done deal. I'm already counting. And again, even an experienced broker like myself, never supposed to count your chickens before it hatches. Right? I had a 116. I'm like, this is a slam dunk. There's no way that anybody has this approval. This guy's because I get down to 112. I'm like, get the fuck? Like, there's no way. And the guy ended up not taking the money from me. Right? But and I had him approved for 275,000. Right? 275,000, 10% commission, 27.5 in commission, right? That we would have made. I thought it was a done deal. 116 in the MCA industry, no way. And the guy told me, "Yeah, I have a better deal." I'm like, "There's no way." I haven't had the sickest closing cost. Usually, closing costs in our game is like 5 to 10%. I have him at 2.5% closing. Guy told me he had a better deal. He had a 112. And it was a 0% closing, 0% closing. So I got beat on that deal, and I had to take a Joe walk.
Yeah.
That I had to take a Joe walk. That was so crazy that happened. But again, it's wins and losses. And then I ended up coming back in, and I ended up funding a deal that was worth 10 grand. Right? Whatever it is, it was still a win in my books. I still helped somebody out. I still made money. But it wasn't that big. It wasn't that big rip. And that literally just happened 2 weeks ago. So again, guys, happens to everybody.
Yeah, and me and Joe were actually just discussing today. It's like sometimes we get some deals in, we see some nice approvals, and we get very content. And then we think we can take our foot off the gas. But really, this is a numbers game, folks. Right? The deeper your pipeline, the better chances of success. So when you're in a situation where you have that deal, it's a phenomenal approval.
Yep.
And then the borrower, comes and surprises you saying no thank you, at least you have some more ammunition in the clip to keep the payroll coming in, right? So just keep getting those deals in. Don't let a couple good deals let you get content where you're relaxing now. You got to keep plugging away.
Now, Sean, let me ask you a question. Does all your clients so nice that they just say no thank you when they turn you down? Because that's not what this guy told me.
Yeah, well,
this guy said, "Hey, Daryl, do better." A 116.
And also to remember to take every no as a learning experience, right? Turn every no is teaching you something. What could I have done better? Could I have pitched the deal to the client differently? Could I introduced it completely different than what I already did? And the reason why I say that is because even us, I consider myself and Daryl to be very seasoned. Joe as well. But when
is that because of our complexion? Like are we seasoned?
Yes.
Okay.
Salt and pepper.
Different levels of seasoning.
But the reason why I say that is because when I first started off in this space, I was scared to pick up a phone.
Yeah.
And we actually have someone today, the Pancho, which is the sales luchador, right?
Oh, Pancho!
So it's funny because he would be. I started with this guy, right? He wasn't wearing the mask at the time, but I started with him back at it's like maybe 16, 17 years ago, and he would tell you, I quit. My first time that I did sales, I quit, and the reason why I quit was because I thought that I needed to know everything, and I didn't know that I only needed to know just a little bit in order for me to get my foot in the door, right? And it just then after that, what ended up happening was I then there was someone else in the office that really I felt wasn't as talented as I was, but that person was making a lot of money, And I said, wait, hold on. There's no way. There is no way that I'm going to let someone else outbeat me because I was hearing how much money they were making. At that time, we were doing mortgages, and we were, that person was making, hopefully the IRS is not listening, but we were making about $5,000-$6,000 a week, right, to start off, and it's obviously a lot of money, but my biggest reservation, or the reason why I stopped, was because I told myself, you're in a position that you shouldn't be in. Be on the safety side, right? Be on the safety side and just work. I was bartending at the time. I was bartending. I was making money, et cetera, so on and so forth. I thought that was great. I thought making and not knocking, and I thought making, at that time, me being, I think I was like 21, 22, at that time making $1,500 a week was great and amazing. I thought that was my cap, but it wasn't, right. But I was always telling myself, listen, that's good, that's safe, that's enough, that's all right. Until I took that leap of faith and I took that jump, was when I was able to go ahead and just what I was able to go ahead and just make the money that I deserve, and what I thought, where I should be at. Now, the luchador is what I'm saying. Is that correct? Is that, I mean, like I said, we started off together. What was, you remember when I was green, and just started.
Yeah. I seen a mask like that one time in Pulp Fiction. Right? Is there any correlation or? Okay. Just a second. Okay. No, listen. No. Listen. Honestly, Pancho, thank you very much for coming on. The last time that you gave some of your sales insight, because I know you're a guru. Some we people were ranting and raving and they wanted you to come back on, but obviously we have you in limited doses, so thank you very much for coming back on. But yes, just shed some light on what Jose said. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Now, really quick. Now, Pancho, while we do have you here, because I know that you've ran plenty of call centers. I know that you run a couple of call centers now, and you're one of our biggest, if not the biggest, referral partner that we have, which I definitely want to clap that up as well.
16 years later.
No, you're definitely, I know that you are, you're a real guru in in our space, doing mortgages and doing business funding. What's some of the things that you tell some of your greener people, like some of your greener callers, that they're just starting? All they did was bag groceries, all they did was work in restaurants. Their first day on the phones, their first day that you give them that pitch, what's some of the things or some of the gems that you kind of give to them to just push through, keep smiling, keep dialing? Like, what are some of the first things that you tell them that they're going to experience, and then how do you help them through it? Ooh.
Nice.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard. Yeah.
Bogota.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Wait, sales are for the strong, John.
yeah, yeah,
Pancho.
men,
Pancho.
women, yeah,
Juan Pancho.
today's climate,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. They're
know.
for the strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, one of
Oh wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, no, not to because I know Jose keeps trying to talk and I keep cutting him off. But two of the most successful females that I even know do exactly what we do. Sarah obviously that works with us,
yes.
and my homegirl Tara, for real, like, just does MCAs, pounds the phone just like us, and she uses her femininity from femininity
Yeah,
femininity.
good enough.
She uses her femininity on the phone to go ahead and get these dudes to do whatever she wants, and she funds some of the biggest deals that I've ever seen in the industry. So shout out to my ladies out there that do exactly
Yes.
what we do.
yes.
Utilize it.
You
Yeah.
use your tools. That's the best.
Yep.
Use your tools.
And honestly, like I said, it's not about being a man or woman, but it is about being a man and a woman at times, where it's just majority of the people that I've spoken to are men for some reason, right? It's I would say
Yeah.
business owners are men. So because and the reason why I say that is because with John, we've had several call centers, and what we actually ended up doing was, just it's building a team where we had diverse men and women. But it was crazy. I think one experience that we had was there was a guy that was willing to close a deal if the girl just sent him a picture. That was
Oh.
Oh
insane.
my god.
Well, she just pulled a picture from, I think, Chat GPT or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
No, no,
But
no,
that's
no.
the reality of it, though.
but
It's,
it's
Not a
crazy.
not a picture like that, but it was just like
Yeah, no, not like that. Like, I want to.
like
No.
a
no feet pictures. No feet pictures.
Only toes.
yes.
Right.
yeah, the sharks. Sharks.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no. Listen, the ladies that are in the finance game are all sharks. Please believe.
Mhm.
None of them are soft, Khalid. No. They are sharks. They're about their money. They're about their pipeline, but they're also about their people. It's that's. I mean, that should really. And I see Amanda says love that. Amanda, let me find out that you're a shark on the phones. Amanda, let me find out. No, but Pancho, again, just we appreciate you being on. We appreciate your insight, and when you started off in this game, it was a different time period, right? It was like early 2000s, probably in the 90s, right? I know that's where you're from, and that was a different time. How have you? And this is the last question, and I'll let you just go ahead and mute up and just enjoy the podcast. But how have you kind of adjusted with the times from back then in the 90s when the game was completely different to now that now it's social media. Now there's different levels of marketing. Now it's not going door to door or business to business. Now it's not white pages and dialing. Now there's CRMs. There's a whole bunch. There's social media marketing. How have you adjusted with the times?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Nice.
Put it for that. Yeah. Yep.
Now, and we want to apologize to I think it's TikTok and the community. You can't hear this gentleman. Watch the video. I apologize, and we have to be able to go ahead and merge it together. Sorry, John, but the other communities, the other platforms we have, unfortunately can't hear you. They can only hear you on Zoom.
Well, listen, anybody that's on Zoom, I just want to clap it up for Pancho, the sales luchador. Thank you so much, John, for always being on and
it'll be on
giving us the
YouTube.
insight.
It'll be on YouTube later, right?
Yeah. For them to watch it. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Remember, a 10.
Clap it up.
A 10.
All right, Jose. So let's start the next.
Let me ask you, so just to get everyone else involved. I guess.
Sorry,
Joe,
TikTok. Sorry,
everyone.
YouTube. Sorry, you guys. Listen, we thought that you guys were able to hear.
But
What John was saying. Great insight. We love every time that he's on. He teaches us something every time he's on, and luckily we can learn from each other. But yeah. So
getting back to everyone,
Yeah.
Joe. Quick question: what are your habits to get like a boxer does certain rituals or
Routines.
practices or routines, right? What are your routines in the morning for you to get ready to come to work, sit at that desk, and speak to clients, make smile and dial?
do what you do.
I mean, I like to be active in the morning. I go for a run. I might do some yoga, but every day before I leave the office, I make a list of things to do as soon as when I first step through the door. So, I come in, I might have a list of realtors to call. I might have a list of accountants to call for business funding clients, like I try to switch it up because you can't do the same thing unless it's very profitable. If you're doing the same thing every day and it works out great, fine. But I like to switch up my approach every day. One day I might contact 100 leads from our system. The next day I may just go through my phone book, speak to realtors I know, contractors, always try to switch it up every single day. So,
Sean, how about you to psych you out, right? To go ahead and get into the mood of just a routine that you go in, you prepares you for the day. What do you do from when you wake up? Is there anything that you do, or you just like, oh, I just wake up, shower, brush my teeth, come to the office, etc. Maybe some people listen to music.
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna
Certain
say
type of
I
music.
definitely put a little music on while I'm driving in. And then when I get to the office, I check out my calendar, right? And that's kind of how I base my day. Who do I have to call today? And then I'll go through my leads list, right? My old leads that I've called, and I'll check out, did I text them? Did I email them? When did I call them? And then I reverse it, right? So maybe I'll have somebody that I only called, I noticed 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them in my calendar to hit them up at a different time, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. So I try to tackle all angles. I try to make sure, when did I call them? When did I text them? How many times did I email them? And then I'll even spice it up and hit them up from a local presence number. Maybe they're ignoring me. They saw my number too many times. They put me on block. So I try to just, try and find somewhere where I can penetrate. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting in contact with the client.
And then you are one of the you are you are one of the few in the real estate department that actually your form of penetration that I've seen.
With the fella.
No. But you're one of
Penetrate
the
the guard.
Hold on. You're one of the few. You're actually one of the few that actually, like you said before. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yep.
You switch it up, because I've seen you stay late. You come in on some Saturdays, and it's crazy how just doing those little things can change. Because if you're calling a client during work hours and he or she does not pick up, try something different. And he's one of the few that comes in on a Saturday. Maybe you don't have to come in the full day. He doesn't. He's
3 hours
like,
is 3 hours is enough.
3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. It doesn't matter, but you're trying something different to reach someone. Because when is the person more likely to pick up the phone? When they're not working, when they're not on a job site, when they're not doing whatever it is that they do to make the money. So take advantage of the weekend. Take advantage of at late at night, because it's when they're home. They're not out on the field, right? And Daryl, what do you think about that? I guess we want to read a couple of comments. I want to be able to answer them.
Yeah. We're going to read comments in a second, but no. What I was going to say that I really appreciate that Sean took from the business funding aspect of what we do and applied it to the real estate side is we text our clients a lot. We have a text system in which we're able to go ahead and text them, because again, sometimes you call them, they don't answer, so you text. Sometimes they don't answer emails, so you text, right? Sean's actually been texting a lot of his real estate or mortgage clients, and for some reason it shows that they're almost like 70% more receptive.
Yep.
So he's able to go ahead and take tools from one aspect of our business, apply it to the other aspect of the business, and show significant results. So again, it's all about just broadening what you do. It's all about using all your tools, just like Jose and just like Pancho said before. Use all the tools that you have at your disposal, because again, a guy that I was not able to get on the phone, and I was trying them 3 times a day during the week, I just said, you know what, Hail Mary, let me just call him at noon on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Answered right away. He's like, yeah, I'm at my kid's baseball game. What's up? I'm like, Brian, I've been trying to get in touch with you all week. What's going on? He said, I'm so busy and I don't answer numbers that I don't know.
Correct.
Which he's right. I'm like, all right, Brian, but I text you as well. I don't answer texts from people I don't know.
Was this after or before you sent him the emoji?
Well, I always send emojis, right? And I said, and I send effects. If you have an iPhone, you hold down on like the little like message send button, you can send effects, spotlight, explosion, all that.
Balloons.
Yes, the balloons, everything. So I tried every trick in the book, nothing worked. But just a simple phone call on a Saturday is what made the difference.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still right now trying to get in front of. He's being a stickler, obviously, but I was able to at least make contact. And as soon as I make contact, the first thing that I always say, hey, listen, I know you're inundated with calls and texts. Store my number. Daryl Mills, LendMate Capital, your rep. And now that he stored, because again, sometimes we call and we get off the phone, they don't even know your name. You spoke to them for 5 minutes. They have no idea who you are still. They talk to so many people per day. They don't remember your name. I tell them, hey, store my number, store my name. So you know when I'm calling, you know to pick up.
Correct. Now, just want to read back the questions that we have here. So
We have Thorn, right?
Thorn. His question is, or his comment was, we are new to the team. Congratulations. Clap it
Yeah,
up.
clap it up for that.
He's a little bit late on the buttons. I don't know what that is.
Not that first one. Wow.
Not Here we go.
All right. So Thorn's question was, we're new to the team. The 1,000 free leads are not providing quality prospects. How can I generate good quality leads, social media options, buy leads from lead generation companies that specialize in DSCRs? That's a great question, right? Because unless and I'm gonna just be blatantly honest, unless you have experience or not even that, unless you're asking the right questions, right, for an intent lead, and those are the best leads. An intent lead means that the client was looking for an option, may or may not have filled out a questionnaire. You're going in blind, but you know that he or she has an interest.
They've inquired. Yep.
They've inquired. So there's something that sparked. They walk, like, you've seen probably Glenn Glarigan Ross. You've seen movies where, if you know what, they walked into the car dealership. They're gonna say they don't want a car, right? But they're walking into a car dealership. Why? Because there's an interest. Same thing. They're looking up business lending, or they're looking up DSCRs. Those are the best leads because they're not being called by everyone. All right. So it all depends on how you move it and how you structure it. Now, here, if you're calling them, right, and Thorn, please chime in, or please go ahead and provide an insight. I would say, how are you calling them? First of all, call them. That's number one. Call them. But when you're calling them, how do you introduce yourself? Right now, he said DSCR. Now, I guess Joe, just to get everyone involved. Joe, how do you introduce yourself? Someone, I tell you, hey, Joe, listen, this person came from what is called, there's something called trigger leads. This person came from a trigger lead, meaning that he did not inquire with us. He's just looking. And the reason how we are able to find that information or get that information is because there is some sort of inquiry somewhere. How would you take that, or how would you go ahead and speak to that client?
I would say, hey John, how's it going? I know you're looking for funding.
Who is this?
This is Joe from Fun Rock. I know you're looking.
Where's that?
For Fun Rock Capital. We do DSCR.
What are you doing?
Fix and flip loans. I know you're looking for funding for your DSCR loan. So I know you're looking for funding for an investment property.
How did you get my information?
Well, you inquired online. That's how I have your information.
I didn't fill out an application with a Fun Rock.
You must have responded to an ad or something. That's the only reason why I have your information.
Do you guys have? Are you guys on the BBB?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. You are. We are.
Well, not for, well, Jose, not for nothing. Just to answer your question, are we on BBB? No, because I mean that's just like an annual membership, right? $250, $500. Let me ask you a question, Jose. You own a business? Are you on the BBB?
No.
Oh, but I'm very sure you conduct great business, right?
Oh, 100.
All right, so let's just forget the BBB. Listen, that's
question, I guess.
Oh, what do you mean? That's how you overcome it. Listen, guys, everybody wants to know if you're on the BBB.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When did the Better Business Bureau become
like the standard
authority? Right. Yeah.
Honestly, wait, hold on. Is the BBB?
I hear Google reviews. I hear this, but people don't really.
Google reviews are different. Google reviews and the BBB are completely
different.
different.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't hear people.
I just don't know if our audience understands that a BBB.
It's just a membership.
It's a membership. Yeah. It's like
you pay them $1,000 in order for them to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No legitimacy necessarily to what they provide. You know what I'm saying?
The BBB is a private company.
You could be the worst company in the world, and if you're paying, you're gonna be on there.
Yes.
So my answer will be
yes. Hey
Thorn, what's up, brother?
Hey Thorn. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Thorn, can I ask you? I apologize. Can I ask you a quick question? What can if I may? What? Let's assume you're calling me. What is your pitch? What is your opening pitch?
So my pitch is this is Thorn calling from Upsell Solutions, just following up on your recent request for finance.
Okay. And like I said, it's a quick question. So remember, these are intent leads. As soon as you ask them, this is or say, I'm following up on a request for your intent of funding. Remember that they all they did was went online and there was a keyword that they typed in. So they went online and typed something, and you know how when you speak about a product, all of a sudden, then your phone starts sending you ads
Your cookies.
for that cookies, right? They start sending you ads for all of that. So these are, and it's a great question. I'm glad you actually bring this up because I think this is the biggest. This is one of the things and frustrations that maybe a lot of people have, and I want to make it clear. These are not clients that filled out an inquiry and went online and are expecting a call back.
Yes, because that pitch,
Yeah.
Thorn,
Completely different.
that pitch that you just used is great if someone filled out an inquiry. Now, now inquiry literally is like they put their name,
Yep.
their phone number, their email address, and they said, I'm interested in X.
Call me.
That
Yes.
that pitch that you just used, stellar.
Yep.
Because those leads are different. Because I have some of those leads, and I got like a couple of those leads today, and that's how I addressed it. And they knew if I went into that pitch with our intent leads, they'd be like, I'm not looking. I didn't fill out anything. What do you mean? But realistically, it's like they went to a website, they showed they clicked on a page where they're reviewing some kind of information, and we grab their information, and that's how we're reaching out to them.
And we have that same.
Yep.
I want to spend the time there because my real concern is how do I get better quality people? Do I need to go buy them? Do I need to establish relationships? Do I need to go to a website? Where do I need to go to try to get better quality?
Quick question. You said DSER before in the comment. Are you focusing on real estate? What is your niche or your market?
Right now, I think the market is hot with CRO.
Okay. Which you're right.
Yeah.
And so, my background is more residential mortgage, and I want to get out of that and more towards the commercial side.
Okay.
Smart man.
Yeah.
We're focusing on those loans. I want to be specific. I don't want to, we do flips and flips, and we can do the other hard money and all those other things too. But I really want to build a business starting out with this DSCR.
So Thorne, can I ask you a question? What makes us stand out from everyone else, or us meaning you and Brokers Connection, Fun Rock Capital? What makes us stand out from everyone else?
From the client's perspective,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I hope it's flexibility. That's what I've been hearing.
No.
Is your partners and the flexibility.
No. And like I said, I'm going to speak to you as if you're one of the sales guys, right? No, hopefully you don't get offended, but no, that's wrong. It's not flexibility. It's the opportunity we provide. We're from DSERs, we provide the best rate. I'm gonna give you an example. I spoke to someone a couple of days ago. You know what rate I gave him on a DSER with 60% LTV? 6.99%.
No, I got a 7.2 at 75%.
That's 60%. And then yes, and I'll show you the text messages. And then this is what I did with the client because listen, I get it. It went in this particular client, it was him and his wife making a decision. And his wife was no disrespect. I love everyone, etc. But his wife was putting up more of a firewall or just, hey, who are you guys? What do you guys do? I'm only used to dealing with local people. I get it. I understand that. They came back and they said, Jose, I was only able to get a 7.1%. Perfect. I got you 6.99. Where is the where is the question? Where are we? Where is the the conversation or just where is the you not moving forward with me? Right? That's number one. Number two was I coached you on how to be able to make this deal work. Because what they were doing was they have a lot that has 3 houses in it. But understand this, that when you do that with certain companies, that one lot is considered a 3-family. The structure does not have to be vertical in order for you to consider a 3-family. So I was able to give them, we were able to give them education, but at the same, that's what we provide. The number one is our rates. No one's going to beat us. I'll tell you who it is you can go to right now. Go to Silver Hill. Go to RCN. Right, I was competing against a deal with RCN. You know what they gave the client? 12.49% charging 3 points. You know where I came back at? 10%, 10% APR, charging a point and a half.
It's a no-brainer.
Now you're gonna say, "Wow, this person must have had experience." No, this person had no experience, but they had a 775 credit score. So that's where we stand out. Where we stand out is our confidence in the product, because we go above and beyond from what everyone else does, because we do volume. Some of the deals we do in house, you'll see our contracts go out under our paper.
Right.
Fund Rock Capital. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Local connection, you don't want to see yourself in the foot. Just working with DSCR, if you're going to be doing mortgage, you want to buy these that are going to bring you all types, reverse mortgage, forward mortgage. You want to work with the DSCR.
New construction, yeah.
You want to be able to diversify that pipeline. You just go after one market. You're shooting yourself in the foot. It's my advice that you explore and build those different pipelines.
Yeah. And Thor, remember, our company is based off of cross selling, right?
Yeah.
Being able to ask one. So, like on the Fun Rock side, what do you? Even though he does mortgages, Sean does mortgages on a day to day, you're still asking what questions to be able to.
Well, yeah. So as soon as I talk to somebody and I say, "Where's your credit score?" As soon as they say over 680, alarm bells go off in my head, right? Because that 680 now can open up opportunities on the LendMate side as long as their utilization is low enough. We got the high dollar business credit cards at 0%. We got the no income dot credit lines. Maybe their business is bringing in revenue. We got business term loans. Maybe they get paid W-2. We got personal loans. So there's just so many different options. As soon as they say that word 680 and up, I'm thinking about how many other products I can cross-sell these clients. And also, too, Thorne, a good place, too, is Facebook. They have real estate groups in every single state, multiple Facebook groups. So that's a good way to meet contacts, meet brokers.
Yep.
I mean, you can meet wholesalers that they come across clients all the time, investors.
I would say,
Thor, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but I just wanted so that we can go ahead and wrap it up. Not saying your question is not important, but have you looked into the community? We have a roadmap to 10K. And the reason why I say that is because one of our biggest affiliates that sends a lot of deals that had no experience in sales, all he did was follow the roadmap. We're going to give you all that in the community. Go in the community if you can, please, Thorne. Go in the community, figure out. Yeah.
Someone that I can talk to as a lead. Right
Okay.
now, that's been my biggest challenge is trying to, and I'm using the ones that you gave me, and I'm finding that I need to do something a little bit different.
Thor-
I'm just trying to get some feedback.
No.
Yeah.
And we want that.
Where I could go.
Can you do me a favor?
I was gonna say, speak to other realtors, speak to other mortgage people, because we offer products that are not common in the industry.
Yep.
So if you go to a realtor and say, hey, if the person has bank statements for 12 months, we get them 90% on a DSCR purchase. Or if someone doing fix and flips, if they have some experience in the last 4 years, let's say they've done 4 flips, they own a couple properties, we could fund 90, sometimes 100% on their purchase, 100% on the rehab. No one's really doing that. So instead of like talking to one lead at a time, speak to realtors, speak to other mortgage brokers, because they may have 50 clients, 100 clients.
And wait, really quick, and Thorne, really quick, just to preface kind of like this whole thing, when you said, listen, I don't want to turn this into a complaining sesh. We're all here to learn.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna know how to help you if you don't speak. And I appreciate your professionalism, asking the question, prefacing that with I don't want this to be a complaining session, but I also enjoy the fact that you then, once we started speaking to you, you turn on your camera, right? So that you can see. That's huge, brother, right? And that's because you're hungry and you want to be successful and you know what you want. Listen, we're up for any challenge. And usually on the podcast, they would kind of run away from your question, but just to even help you tweak your pitch just a little bit to let you know what you're calling, right? That might just be like the switch that'll help you. And then if you email partner at laymancapital.com, which Jose just put down there for you. We have other lead sources. We have leads to closing. We have a bunch of different lead sources that if you need additional, like if you're willing to go ahead and you want to put your own money up and you want to go for something else, we can definitely go ahead and help you out with that. So thank you so much for just going ahead.
I think that's great.
It's great. It's
Thorn, let's do this. Just because obviously, email partners at lemoncapital.com. Right, it's on the chat, and the reason why I say that is because we have 15-minute like Q&As sessions where it's just a one-on-one. Email it, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you the link so you can book it, and then we can have a conversation, and we can go and just speak about your business and what we want to go ahead and prepare for you. Okay? Appreciate you, Thorn. Thank you,
Thorn. Appreciate it. Jose, you want to move us down?
The mental model of a top producer. What does that look like now?
It's really about mindset, right? Just to not be redundant and to just keep saying things that we said from last time and into this time. One of the things that I can definitely tell you that I particularly do is I steamroll people, right? Because when you're on the phone again with these professionals, you have to take their power away from them, that they think that they're the expert in this particular situation, because they're not. When you're on the phone with me, it's my domain, right? There's nothing that you can tell me about any product that I don't know better than you, because you don't do this on a day-to-day. Taking away that power dynamic in which they think that they're talking down to you because they need a service, you have to kind of take them off that pedestal, bring them down, and then once you show your expertise and you start elevating, then they start respecting you and they listen to you. Staley and I were kind of arguing over that last week because he was trying to say that people don't buy from who they respect. He's absolutely out of his mind, and I wish he was sitting next to me so I could tell him that again. People buy from who they respect, because if you show that your knowledge is greater than them, then they will follow you like a sheep and a sheep herder, and they'll follow you into either they're going to follow you to the promised land or they're going to follow you into a default. Either way, they're going to go ahead and follow you, right?
One thing I want to say.
Why are you interlocking fingers with me, bro?
Whoa!
One thing I want to say is Amanda actually made a good point. Thorn, do me a favor. The community is very important. And Amanda just pointed something out, which is true. There on every Wednesday, there is a marketing session, and I think you definitely would benefit from it.
Albert runs that, right?
Yeah, Albert runs it, and as Amanda said, we just went over that.
Shout out to Albert over there. My man Ocean.
What she said was, we just went over that in detail about getting leads during the calls on Wednesday with Albert. Please make sure we have a lot of resources. We make ourselves available to you guys as much as we possibly can. And yes, it's like you could book a one-on-one with what's his name? The one that teaches about the CRM. I apologize, I forgot.
John?
No, not
Arnell?
Arnell. They'll walk you through the CRM. They'll teach you how to do triggers. They'll teach you how to be able to use the CRM effectively.
Completely customizable to, like, if you guys want a particular message to go out week 1, week 2, there's some
drip campaigns, right?
Yes, there's so much customization. If you want to hire a VA to go ahead and dial for you, give them a script. There's so much that we can do, but we don't know if you don't ask. So again, email partners at laymancapital.com. And then again, if you want to speak about leads and do a deep dive, you got Wednesdays with Albert.
Right, Ian, I'm glad you say that. Albert, you have to give the people what they want. They want the link for Wednesday. Where? We're gonna hold you accountable. We're the sales guys. You're the marketer. We listen. We can't do anything without you and
Oceans.
Oceans.
There was a comment above that I want to read because.
Okay. Ian, he said, "Ask and we shall receive." Okay.
Amanda says, "Whoever is asking a question is in control." Yes, Amanda, and I believe you tuned in last week when we were saying you have to control the conversation. It's either going to be the borrower is going to be asking us many questions, and we're just going to be feeding them lines, or we are going to be asking them questions and qualifying them.
Yeah.
Or as Jose likes to say, we like to disqualify people.
Yeah.
Because everybody that comes in wants the creme de la creme product. Everybody wants that term loan.
They think they're qualified.
Everybody wants that. But what if they're asking us all these questions? We're feeding them every product that we have. At the very end of the call, we're like, "Hey, what's your credit score?" They're like 500.
Yeah.
Well, that happens to a lot of us, right? Because again, we have we have so many different programs that if we just started rattling off information to everybody that we were on the phone with that was just inquiring, we would spend a lot of time giving fluff to people that don't qualify. Right. We ask the questions because I need to make sure you fit our programs, not vice versa. I'm not putting on the dog and pony show for you. I don't care if you take my deal or not, to be honest. But I know if you take mine, and I know that if you buy from me, you're going to get the best rate, the best term, and you're going to have the best person on the other side of the phone to give you the roadmap to success.
They need us. Like, they need you.
I said that last week, Pancho. See, that's my man. 100%. Yes. Yeah. And that's exactly what I said last week, my brother. That's, we're right here. What are you saying, Joe?
I was saying, like, they need us more than we need them. You know? Like, a lot of my clients, they come back to me, because I gotta think this over. I don't know about the points. I tell these people, hey, I invite you to go shop around, see what else you're gonna get offered. I know this is like, I'm 99% sure it's probably the best offer you're gonna get.
Get that reality check.
Not to be cocky, but we work with every single bank, private lender. We fund stuff in house. So
and guess what? When they tell you they have a 500, don't let that take the wind out of your sails. We got something. We got some credit repair for them.
Nice.
There's always something to be made on every call. Really quick, Jesse Williams. Wow, this is 20 minutes ago. Yeah, he said encouraging, and I'm not in the biz, but puts me in the mindset of getting into. Be consistent and helping folks. The money is definitely a bonus. Keep up great work. Thank you so much, Jesse Williams.
Nice.
Williams. By the way, Jesse Williams is my uncle, so thanks for tuning in, Uncle. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I see you with the camera on, and then you turned it off. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, Uncle. Who do we have? Sean. I know that Sean, that red Sean, that's definitely Sean McConney. Sean, what's up, my brother? Thanks for tuning in. Sean said, could you at some point do a live dialing session with a CRM screen share?
Yes, that's on the TikTok. You have to listen to the community. We're going live on TikTok. On TikTok, what we're doing is we're doing all that. We're doing the phone calls. We're doing everything that we possibly can to ensure that you guys get that one-on-one, right? Or just join the live dive, right? There's only been maybe 4 people that joined the live dive.
Take advantage.
One of them being Debbie. Debbie actually joined the live dive.
Debbie.
It was a one-on-one with Debbie.
Shout out Debbie.
Listen, it's myself, sometimes Stanley, but myself. Listen,
Debbie had you for the whole session at one time. I remember you were saying it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And I think Debbie, you took a lot of very good knowledge on there. Join it. If you guys tell us, listen, it's too late. No, it's too early. Do it later. No problem. Give us feedback. I'll do it from home. You understand? So it just let us know what works for you in order for us to be able to get this done for you and be able to help everyone to become successful.
Nice. All right. So, obviously we're almost out of time, but before we do final thoughts, one of the questions, it goes by so fast. One of the questions that I proposed to the sales floor before, right? Because Jose is bilingual. He's bilingual. So one of the questions that I had for him is, when he thinks or goes through his thought process, does he think in English or Spanish? Right? Completely off topic, but that's what I was asking for everybody just on the floor. I was like, to some people that spoke 2 languages, do you think in English or Spanish? Now, well, not English, Spanish. What language do you think in?
Everybody talks themselves, right? I mean,
do they? I don't know. There was a big debate. Go on TikTok.
You'll watch everybody talks themselves.
Everyone has an inner voice.
Now, hold on. Now, real quick. Pancho, really quick. Pancho, you're bilingual, right? So you think, you speak English and Spanish. You probably speak 3 other languages, right? But what language do you think in? Is there like a particular answer that you
What's your go-to?
What's your go-to, bro?
Yeah. Took that from me. Yeah, that's key to the industry, right?
That's it.
All right. Big shout out.
Yes.
You want to limit yourself from your borrowers not shopping you around.
Mm.
Sell one option. Sell multiple options.
Yeah.
And that's going to
Yeah.
to have different points of view. A 15-year mortgage, a 30-year mortgage.
Pancho, this is that's
Genius. Yes.
Pancho.
Yes.
This is that's like
If they do go to the competition's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the knowledgeable, the option guy.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Pancho. That's the paid membership conversation
Yeah.
that we have.
Should I say that information is kind of hidden? Should be hidden.
That's it. No motivation. No, listen. He has a lot of great knowledge, and like I said before, if it wasn't for this guy, to be honest with you, I would not be in sales like I am today. He taught me everything from just like how I taught Daryl. He taught
Oh,
me
you was so
everything.
trying to take
he
credit
taught-
for that.
He taught me everything about sales, and literally what he says, I take it to heart, and just understand this, just for you to even just understand, like you can see the passion that he speaks about, right? Like that he speaks with, the passion, and it's because everything is just if you love what you do on a day to day,
Yep.
don't psych yourself out. Be amazing at what you do.
Mm.
Right? And just allow yourself to be that person. And one thing I want to say is you will have a lot of naysayers, but we're gonna say that for final thoughts. I thought about it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you get a little.
It's this. It's this.
It is.
It's this.
I always feel like you're selling something.
Yeah.
Thorn, quick question. So for yourself, what was the question that we had before? When you speak to yourself, your inner voice, when you try to motivate yourself, what language do you speak yourself in?
Well, it's Thorn. Are you?
His computer just froze. No, it's not. It's not. I know.
It's a crazy question, right? It's a crazy question, right?
So we don't understand if you know, like.
Yeah. Are
if
you
don't know-
dual language? Okay.
Beautiful.
Stereo.
Do we have anybody bilingual? Well, Lee,
Me
can
do
you
both. I do both.
Lee, I do both. Lee, what's it? What's the two languages that you speak? Lee, hello, hi, Lee. I don't think Lee's here anymore. All right, but yeah, yes, but I don't know. Let's say, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of break up the monotony that we have on the sales floor every day. Sometimes we're just hustle and bustle. Sometimes it's just all business, and then I'll just throw out a random question for the room, and then we have our camera guy, Radical, best in the business over here.
Shout out Radical.
Radical's gonna run around and he's gonna record content for you guys, but I just throw out random questions for the room, and it helps. We see my just to button up the episode. Everything's about mindset, right? But sometimes I feel like the room, like everybody's so deep in thought, or they're just on the phones. And when I hear people on the phones for like a couple minutes, I'll throw a random question out there. We were talking about Kanye today, absolutely insane. Then we were talking about Shannon Sharp today. Just throwing out things out there, just to see.
Quick question: Do any of you guys here in the panel today, from Joe to Daryl to Sean, do you guys go into character?
Oh yeah.
Like do you think?
I know you do.
I do.
You do.
I do. So my favorite sales movie is Boiler Room. I go for me, even when I started off in sales, I put myself in the position where Vin Diesel, right? Remember when the kid yelled out "Recco," and then Vin Diesel picks up the phone and he tells everyone to be quiet.
It says that he's a son of. He said his name was something Marlon. It's my father.
And that's for me, that's my character, right? My sales character, that's my character, right? Do you guys go into character for anything else? I mean, some people will say Wall Street, some people say anything else. Do you guys, Sean? Do you?
I mean, I don't necessarily go into character, but apparently the folks sitting next to me tell me I get very loud on the phone and I get very excited because, it's all contagious, right?
Mhm.
So if you sound excited on the phone, like you've got some good news, like you've got something positive to say, like you sound like you know what you're talking about, that's going to rub off on the client. So I do try to be, and I don't even realize I do it sometimes, but yeah, I get a little loud and, I try to speak with conviction, and then it seems to work out.
Well, conviction or confidence?
Well, Sean, you know.
Conviction. I convict them.
Well, Sean, Tequila Thursdays. Yo, no, but Sean, you know what? You know what it is really? I think confidence. Confidence just doesn't talk, bro.
Right.
It shows up when the phone rings,
Right.
right? As soon as that phone rings, bam, you are who you need to be on the phone.
That's it.
And I think that's kind of what Jose is saying. Because before Jose gets on the phone, again, before Jose gets on the phone, sometimes I'm sitting at my desk and I already know how he's gonna get on the phone. Like, oh, Jose,
Yeah,
hi,
you know the whole script.
I do because he does the same thing every time.
And it works though. It works.
Because everybody has their routine.
Yeah.
Everybody has a routine, bro. There's not one fighter that doesn't have the same routine. There's not one like weather person, morning talk show host. There's not one at LeBron every time does the whole thing with the
chalk.
with the chalk.
Yeah.
Everybody has a routine. They say LeBron shows up 7 hours before every home game, does the same routine every day, but that's because literally practice makes perfect.
Yes.
And repetition breeds some other whatever quote, right?
Yeah, it becomes like a subconscious behavior of yours. And
Exactly.
You got to think about it. You just unload. That's it.
Sometimes you need some sort of routine in order to set you up for the day, right? It's kind of immature. Listen, there's a video out there about it.
The video too?
Video.
All right. There's a video. Hold on. There's a YouTube video out there about a Marine that what he would do in the morning to get his day started was make his bed, right? And he's the same person that said about burning the boat, right?
Yeah.
It's a very common phrase, and it's true.
But what do they mean by burn the boat?
Yeah, what you
Jose?
talking about?
What you mean?
What you
Like
talking
what's that
about?
sentiment really mean?
So it's about just you
I
don't
got you.
have it. Hold on, no.
No.
Hold on.
Let him
You
land.
sure? Because I got you.
Yeah, let's go
Let him
deep.
land
If
the boat.
you need help, bro, I got you. That's why I'm here.
I'll pass the baton.
Let him
Okay,
dock the
thank you.
boat.
So when they say burn the boat, like the I guess the philosophical saying is when there were invaders going to take the island, going to invade somewhere, right? They would show up on boats and they would burn their boats so that they could never return home.
That's right.
Their home is going to be that new place that they have to go take over. Because if they don't take over that place, if they don't succeed, if they don't hit their mark,
They ain't going home.
they're not going home. What, they gonna be stuck on the beach, chilling, fishing? They're not going to survive. So burn the boat means you have to do whatever you can to complete your goal. Whatever your goal, whatever your mindset, whatever your goal is to obtain, you're gonna do whatever it needs or whatever it takes to get done to go ahead and make sure that your goal is accomplished. And Jose's gonna tie it to sales by.
No, well, his explanation went more in depth. I was just gonna say,
Conquistadors.
No, I was just gonna say, you know what? Burn the boat. Just burn the boat. Literally burn the boat. But he had something.
Learn how to swim.
No. But just burning the boat, like he said before, is not having.
Yes, Amanda. Burn the boat equals no backup plan.
No safety net. No safety net. Nothing that you.
There's no plan B.
Plan A and plan A.
Plan A. There you go. Once you burn the boat, that's it. You have to be able to survive. You have to make something happen because if you don't, that's it. You're X out of luck.
See, there's a plan A and there's a Jose. There's no plan B. There's no Jose B. All right, no, listen, guys, we're getting a little silly now, but we're gonna go to final thoughts. Sean, bring us home.
All right, man. I mean, look, the best thing to do is just try to emotionally detach yourself from your conversations. If you have a negative conversation, you can't really let it ruin your day, man. Like, just focus on the good, but if someone curses you out, someone hangs up, it doesn't make a difference, man, because you can just keep going and eventually you're going to hit your mark. That's it. Just emotionally detached. Have to have thick skin, obviously. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, you don't have to put these people on a higher pedestal.
Yep.
You're the expert. Every phone call you take, remember, you're the one with the wealth of knowledge. You're the one with the solution to their problems. And just remember that every phone call.
Poncho, final thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Not Joe, Poncho.
Yeah, no, stay positive. Stay away from
Have to just stay away from drugs.
and just focus on the end result.
My man.
Well said.
Joe?
Hey, just stay positive, have that confidence, I get on the phone, I have the utmost confidence. I know I have the best product and delivery and how you sound, that tonality, that's everything. You could be, pitching the greatest product, the greatest loan term rate, whatever. If you don't believe it, your client's gonna hear that in your voice. They're gonna,
Yep.
someone with a worse quality deal may sell it just because they sound a lot more confident than you.
Yep.
It's a fact.
So you need to believe in yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
Correct.
You gotta have that self belief. Just keep it going, keep it moving.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, you don't need more motivation. You just need less excuses. Stop making excuses. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of that. Just do it. At the end of the day, just take a chance and do it.
Nothing
I
worth
can,
having comes easy.
there you go. I
So,
can guarantee you that the satisfaction at the end of the road is going to allow you to become financially free, right? And it's gonna. No, you have no excuses attached to it. Become someone. Become the person you want to become. Right? That may sound very dumb, but become the person that you want to become.
Yeah,
Allow
Already,
yourself.
already imagine
No.
you're that person.
Yeah,
That's
allow
it.
yourself
Already
to
there.
become that person. Hey, I want to. I saw a movie star, or I saw a film. I saw a sales movie. I saw Wolf of Wall Street. I want to be
Jordan Belfort.
not
Be him.
but I want to be him. All right, so just allow yourself to just take the proper steps to become that person in the successful.
And one last thing too, like it's okay to have negative thoughts, but just don't say it.
Yeah.
Watch what you say because you don't know what your words they may infect. They may affect your environment. It's okay. Everyone gets discouraged once in a while, but if you're having a bad day, just keep it quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't say it out loud. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So don't curse yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So just say the positive stuff out loud. Say you're the best. You know what I'm saying? But don't go out there talking negative.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest threat to your pipeline is you, and it's your self doubt. Every person that says no today is a yes next month, could be a yes 2 months from now. A pipeline isn't just leads right now. A pipeline consists of you following up.
Yes.
A pipeline consists of deals dying, and the pipeline consists of getting referrals out of deals that you fund before, right? The best lead that you could ever get is a referral, word of mouth. Someone that says that Joe is the best at what he does. Hey, you go ahead and talk to Joe. Here's his number. Now, that person that Joe gets on the phone, their guard is going to be significantly lower. He's not even going to have to fight that person that much. You know what I mean? So, again, everything, and this is what I tell anybody new that starts with us. Yeah, your deal didn't fund. Yeah, your deal died. Yeah, that person said F you. But that's how you build a pipeline.
Yep.
Your pipeline's not just hot leads right now. It's just about leads. And you making some kind of impression. Now, again, every call matters, every deal that dies matters, every contact that you make, like we always say, every podcast. This is a contact sport, right? So make sure that every contact that you make with anybody, good or bad, is a lasting impression. I can guarantee you that we have the products. We have the products for you to be a millionaire. We have the process for you to become a millionaire. We have it. It's just about whether we're going to get it done or not. I say that to myself every day. I know what I have here. Am I going to become that millionaire this year? That's what we should all be asking ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you guys feel like we don't have the products, then go somewhere else. But I know that we do. I'm not even in real estate, and I hear some of the rates that these guys are giving these people on the phones, and it's not like whatever I research when I get home. I'm like, let's just see if what Joe's saying is true.
Right? Yeah.
We have them. They're competitive. Are we going to be able to convey that message to the people that we need to over the phone to get them to buy from us? Are we going to leave that lasting impression in which someone's going to refer their mother business over to us to get them done? That's how I view every phone call. At the end of every sale that I make, I ask for a referral. I want you to refer me somebody else. If you're a trucker, I want you to refer me to your best friend that's a trucker that could use some money. If you're a restaurant, I know that the price of chicken wings is up. Shoot me over your guy. I'm guaranteed I get him almost the same deal that I got you. Word of mouth. And Thorne, that's for you as well. Anybody that you've ever spoken to in your entire life that can put that knows that you're a professional, reach back out to them. They probably don't even know that you're still in the business. Reach back out to them. Referrals are the best leads. that you could ever possibly get. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for our episode. I'm getting really good at these final thoughts.
Wow.
Again, my name is Darren Mills. I'm your host of Mexico. To my right, I got my boy Jose Martinez. To his right, I got Sean McCullers. Jose, stop talking. And then to my left, I have the infamous Joey G.
Joey G.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Appreciate y'all. Go
Good
next.
night.
We're still live.
Everyone's like, I gotta piss.
Get away from the white show. Pee, piss, same shit. I knocked something down.
Yeah, let him see the wings in the gym right before you